Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers defender on verge of breaking impressive record. The Pittsburgh Steelers will look to win their third straight game when they face the New York Giants on Monday night. The team is coming off one of their most well-rounded performances of the season against the New York Jets. Pittsburgh outscored New York 24-0 in the second half as they advanced to 5-2. One of the main reasons for the team's consistent success this season, especially on defense, has been the play of longtime defensive tackle Cameron Heyward. Now, barring any unexpected changes, Heyward is set to break a very impressive team record against New York on Monday night. If he plays, it will be his 202nd game with the team, which would be the most games played by any defender in Steelers history, breaking a tie with safety Donnie Shell. Leading up to the game, the four-time All-Pro stayed modest about breaking the record. "I don't take breaking this record lightly," said Heyward. "Wearing the Steeler jersey, there's always respect there. But to wear it more than 200 times and to be amongst guys like Donnie Shell and others, I am always thankful to be a part of that." Heyward's record is especially impressive when considering the fact that the Steelers franchise is almost 100 years old and have had some extremely iconic defenders don their uniform. While the game on Sunday would give him the defensive record, he would still trail Hines Ward, 217, Mike Webster, 220, and Ben Roethlisberger, 249, for the all-time Pittsburgh record. Film room: George Pickens is unleashed against the Jets in Russell Wilson's first start. The Pittsburgh Steelers dismantled the New York Jets on Sunday Night Football, winning 37-15 in convincing fashion. It was QB Russell Wilson's first start of the season, and his strong performance coming off the calf injury propelled George Pickens to arguably his best performance of 2024 to date, catching 5 of 9 targets for 111 yards, 22.2 YPR, and a touchdown. George Pickens got started in the second quarter with 11:35 left on the clock, with Pittsburgh facing second and long. Pickens aligns at the bottom of your screen against number 26 Brandon Echols and runs a fade up the sideline against the cornerback when the ball is snapped, coming back to the ball to catch the back shoulder throw by Wilson along the sideline. At the same time, he and Echols jostle for position, catching the ball with his right arm for a 44-yard gain into Jets territory. George Pickens was also utilized close to the line of scrimmage on Sunday night. He caught this quick pass from Wilson on third and long as the pressure got to Wilson to give Pickens a chance to create after the catch. He managed to get upfield for a gain of 12 yards, but Pittsburgh fell short of picking up the 24 yards it needed to move the chains, resulting in a punt the very next play. George Pickens got targeted on a couple of other throws that nearly resulted in chunk gains, but he could not bring them down. In the first clip below, we see Pickens streak down the middle of the field, nearly coming down with the deep ball from Wilson as he stretches out his hands for the catch with number 35 Jalen Mills in coverage, unable to snag the football out of the air. In the second clip, Pickens is matched up with number 1 Sauce Gardner at the top of your screen. Pickens fights Gardner for position up the sideline as the ball is thrown and cannot come back to the ball as Gardner puts his arm out in front of him to deflect the pass. However, Gardner is called for pass interference, giving Pittsburgh 29 yards and a first down. 2 plays later, after the pass interference, Wilson goes back to Pickens for the touchdown to put Pittsburgh within 2 points of New York at the half. Watch this play as George Pickens is matched up again with Echols, on whom he had the 44-yard gain in the quarter. Pickens runs a fade to the corner of the end zone and catches the ball over Echols' head, maintaining control of the ball as Echols tries to knock the ball free and tackle him to secure the catch and the score for Pittsburgh. Wilson and Pickens connected on another explosive play after the touchdown, making this catch on number 23 Isaiah Oliver for a gain of 37 yards on 3rd and 7 on Pittsburgh's first drive of the second half. Watch as Pickens lines up in the furthest inside receiver in Pittsburgh's trips formation and runs up the sideline after getting jammed by Oliver. He gets a step of separation on the defensive back and manages to deflect the ball initially, but Pickens catches the ball off the deflection. Oliver attempts to rip it out, but George Pickens manages to maintain possession of the ball after having it pop out for a second and finishes the play, falling forward for a big first down for Pittsburgh. Sunday night was George Pickens' second 100-yard effort of the season, with his first coming against Indianapolis in Week 4. Pickens did have some plays go his way, like the deflection by Eccles popping up into the air and into his hands. Still, the third-year wide receiver had some strong chemistry with Wilson in the quarterback's first start of the season, connecting on multiple downfield passes. Wilson's style of play better suits George Pickens and his skill set as a pass catcher. Wilson can deliver a pretty deep ball with enough arc to drop it into the bucket in the red zone. Wilson and Pickens could become a strong duo as Pickens looks to unlock the potential he's often touted for as the clear WR1 of the offense. He will get his opportunity to show Sunday wasn't a fluke next week against the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. NFL rumors, the Steelers' WR who could be traded amid Mike Williams' buzz. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been one of the biggest surprises in the NFL so far this season, as they have raced out to a 5-2 start, with their biggest win coming in Week 7 after they blew out the New York Jets by a score of 37-15. A lot of things have gone right for Pittsburgh this season, but if they intend on making a deep playoff run, it's clear they are going to need some more help. Ex-NFLer committed to Miami at strip club Pittsburgh has been in the market for a top wide receiver, as they have very little help behind George Pickens on the depth chart currently. While the team is known to be interested in Jets wide receiver Mike Williams, they could end up trading one of their own wideouts in order to make an upgrade at the position, with Calvin Austin III being floated as a potential trade candidate. Let's be clear, because of injuries creating a lack of depth at previously flush positions, the Steelers don't have a legitimate trade candidate on their roster right now. Sidelined by a calf injury while Justin Fields went 4-2, Russell Wilson was a trendy pick before he threw 3 touchdowns in his Steelers debut. Now, though, the team certainly won't part with him or Fields. The only scenario that makes Austin, or any other player, a tradable asset is if trading him away gains a more established player at the position. Could Pittsburgh package Austin with a late-round pick to acquire a solid veteran number 2 receiver, Brooke Pryor a 4th-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft? Austin has gotten more run at wide receiver this season due to Pittsburgh's lack of options, which has resulted in him hauling in 11 passes for 203 yards and a touchdown. He's also been the Steelers' primary punt returner, as he's averaging 9.5 yards per return this season. Austin has the ability to rip off big plays, but he's simply not consistent enough, and with Pittsburgh proving to be better than expected, they may have to move him in order to bring in another wide receiver. Ideally, the Steelers would be able to hold on to Austin and try to develop him a bit more, but if push comes to shove, it wouldn't necessarily be a surprise to see him on the move ahead of the trade deadline. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike Williams? Leave your opinion in the comments.